Super fantastic.
And then, how's your quarantine been happening? What's been going on?
Pretty much in the house.
Apart from this nice little series you started.
You know how I like to keep myself busy. I just can't sit idle. So
True, that is true.
something has to
That is
go on. So
that is true.
this took
But it's a
birth,
good thing.
and
A good thing. Very informative. A lot of new things. I'm sure the whole golfing world, whoever's watching, is getting to know,
yeah,
and
that's what.
some insight into a lot of things.
Yesterday was hilarious with Amit. If you noticed what happened,
Yeah.
Amit has a lot, lot of things
I
that he
wish
came out with.
I wish I was at his age where I could speak as freely as he did.
Don't worry, you're good enough. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
obviously.
true.
A lot of people are coming in, and some of them are saying, "Hi, Hammer, big fan," like this.
I
That's
know these. I know
you,
these friends of mine.
so that's good, good, good. So otherwise, you've been locked down completely. You haven't stepped out at
Completely,
all, is it?
completely locked down. Haven't left home since traveling back from Calcutta because it was still a very neither here neither there kind of situation when we were playing in Calcutta, and then of course PGTI took a good step of discontinuing the tour. I think one of the first sporting bodies to do that. And because I traveled from the airport and my dad's diabetic, so I just kind of quarantined myself at home and took all the necessary precautions. And I've just been home since then. I mean, then of course it became official. So I've kind of been at home since probably would say 16th of Feb or 17th of Feb, I think. So yeah, two
Wow.
months. Yeah.
Since 16th of Feb, you've
No,
been
no,
at
sorry,
home.
16th of March. Sorry,
March, yeah,
16th of
that's right.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have
Time.
been an early adapter if it
Time. I
was.
have no idea about the time. Every day is the same.
Yeah, I forget which was a Sunday and a Saturday and stuff. Like I like
Absolutely.
only when I type out the promos in the morning, so I know okay, today is Thursday. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because it's on the schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, but trying to stay as active as possible. With luckily we got a great trainer in Sandeep Parihar. He has us working out in the evenings. We have like a online 1 hour Instagram live again session of workouts. So luckily I've been managing to stay fit with him and trying to eat healthy, trying to eat as healthy as I can, staying at home. Strict orders not to make any halwas and all that at home because even moms now, she's not working and she's at home
Right.
and dads, so they love to cook up sweet things and all. So, but I'm doing my best to stay disciplined in this quarantine time, I would say.
Yeah, in fact, I was talking to Sandy, and we're going to have him on the show soon.
Yeah.
And he's actually believes in the fitness of the body and mind because he's been going through a lot of poetry, I see nowadays.
I know.
Sandy's live right now. He's watching, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure he's watching. I just saw that post 20 minutes ago, and I'm tagged in that post. So I very humbly denied the request to become a poet.
We have more of that when we have Sandy on the show, and we're
Yeah.
gonna actually make him go through his poetry a bit, as well as
Please, I would love to watch that.
because
Yes.
see, he's a fitness guy, so it's mind and body both, no? Sandy's
True.
laughing away, but
Absolutely true.
but well done, Sandy. You've got both of the things that you need to, and that's an ultimate fitness coach right there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so Amar, see, so we kind of got some eyes on us, and it'll keep increasing, and some people will come, some people go, but we'll just continue, and we start with your journey. How come you came about coming into this sport? I know your dad's an army man, so obviously
Yes.
golf courses were a dime a dozen where you were around.
No, so I was actually, it started long ago. I was actually in a hostel in above Chandigarh in Shimla, and I came back. My father got posted to Mumbai, and I wanted to be a lawn tennis player. I was a very good lawn tennis player when I was in seventh or eighth standard. I won districts, and I just thought I could really achieve the goal. And I remember I came back, and my dad got posted to Mumbai, and I had this whole 6 month period off because my hostel finished, my semester finished in December, and the new semester in Bombay was starting in June.
Right.
So I had 6 months off, and I wanted to play tennis, but it was too expensive to afford for my dad. And he says, "Well, you want to pick up a sport? This golf. I got a golf set lying. Why do you while away some time there?" And
Right.
that's how I started. But I wasn't really serious till I actually finished my 10th standard, and I actually did not want to, do the whole 9 to 5 thing. It wasn't my cup of tea, and I wanted to play a sport or do something different, and decided to take golf seriously. And I moved from Mumbai to Meerut, where my
Right.
grandparents used to live, and I sorry, I'm just getting a few calls. Yeah. So my grandparents used to stay, and my father was a member at Meerut Golf Course there, and that's how I started playing golf seriously. And I got to know about the junior circuit and all those things. And that's the time when I met you.
Right.
And
Right.
we I was 15 at that time, and yeah, it's been a long, long journey since then. And
No, you're still a
just
young man, so
one second, I can't hear you.
you you have a you can put it on
I
flight
have a
mode if you
problem.
want to.
Let me join again, because when I get these phone calls, I lose somehow my
No,
phone loses.
what you should do is just go to settings, just get out, go to settings, and go to airplane mode, and then come back.
I can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Let me join again.
Okay. So, guys, we'll just wait for Amar to come back. Uh, oh, he's back. Yeah, there you go. Super. Fantastic.
Yeah, tell me.
So, so tennis. Okay, fine. So,
Yes, so yeah. Oh, you didn't hear anything after that?
no, I think we lost you a
Yeah,
bit over there.
phone
So,
calls.
just disconnect.
Yes, so yeah, I wanted to play tennis, and my father said it was too expensive for me to play the sport, and we couldn't afford it. So dad said that he has a golf set lying, and I should spend some time in the summer playing golf. So that's when I got introduced to the game, but I wasn't really serious about it till I was 15 when I moved to Meerut, and I wanted to pick up golf seriously, and that's when that's when I met you also in Delhi, and getting some official coaching going, and getting to know about the junior circuit, the amateur circuit, and all the things. So it's been a long
Right.
journey. Yeah.
Right. So, all the while used to come to Delhi, you were about 15. Yeah, I don't know, 14, 15, somewhere there.
Yes, I was.
But
I started 15. I played 2 seasons of A category, I think. So that was 16 and 17, and I started golf in 15, like seriously. So yeah, I think I was 16 that time.
right. So how was the journey through junior golf? And you obviously you went to school and you've gone through every phase
Yeah,
of
I mean,
education.
it was funny because coming from Meerut, those times used to be very difficult to come for a lesson to Delhi Golf Club. And I remember it used to be a whole day thing. You wake up in the morning very early. If I had imagine if I had a 9 a.m. lesson with you in Delhi Golf Club, then I probably had to leave my home at like 6, because it was like a 2 hour bus ride to to the Delhi bus station, and then from there take an auto, come to you, then spend the day, eat some lunch, and then go back and probably reach home by evening. So, and I remember doing that twice a week often. And
Right.
yeah, it was a good journey. It was a good learning experience, because I think that period of time really molded me into understanding, that what hard work is. You have to work hard, because I just started golf, and I remember I was nobody. I didn't come from any because now golf is starts very early. It starts at 8 7. You already know who the good kids are, who are really going to play well, who are not playing that well. You already know the names, and I was a nobody
Right.
when I came. And
Right.
I really had to work really hard. I remember I moved my handicap from 24 to, I think, 5, or I mean a single digit handicap within 7 months or 8 months. So
Right.
it took a lot of beating balls. They say that time somebody had, I think we were kids, and I think Jyoti or Digvijay, someone had said that, oh, hard work. This professional golfer called Vijay Singh, and he hits 1,000 balls a day. And in the summer, me and the other junior boys, we decided that we're just going to go hit 1,000 balls a day. Pointless. No aim, nothing. The only target was to hit 1,000 balls a day. And we did that
Right.
over a period of time. So yeah, I mean, all those things I think has molded one to understand what kind of hard work and what kind of dedication it takes to
Right.
excel.
And you did get success as well in the junior circuit. I think you were junior national
No,
champion as well.
yes, I mean, in the start, it was definitely tough, because I was just getting to know what competitive golf is. I'd never played competitive golf, as I had just started golf, and the first year it just took me to understand what traveling is. How you're supposed to go, how many days it takes. Making the yardage books. Figuring out the whole, how it works. And
Right.
I remember my mother used to travel with me the first time throughout the country. She traveled with me, and it was quite an experience, because you're also 16 years old, and but you also have a parent on your head at all times. So it was an interesting time, but yes, of course, after a lot of hard work and one full year of missing every cut and every kind of score, I think I started playing a little well when I came to my last year of juniors. And of course, the best feat was winning the All India Junior Championship in KGA, and that I think I was the first guy to get the blue jacket. They started the blue blazer thing for junior champions, and I think I was the first one
Okay.
to get it. Yeah, the first jacket is with me,
Wow.
and yeah, and that I think really propelled me into understanding that okay, you can do well. Because till the time you actually do well, you don't somehow believe it within yourself if you can do
Right.
well. And
Right.
then I think that really helped me understand in myself and get me some confidence. And then of course after that I was playing well. I was the Indian number amateur at one time. Is when I went to Sri Lanka and won the Sri Lankan amateur. And I came back and I just turned pro. I immediately turned pro. I think I was one of the first guys out of my whole group of friends to turn pro. I turned pro just when I was about to turn 20.
Wow, that was early. So you were in your
Yeah.
teens, 19 when you turned
Yes,
pro.
I was. Yeah, I was 3 months, 2 months short of my birthday in my 20th birthday, and
Right.
I turned pro and got disqualified in my first event ever. So, but that's a different story.
What happened there?
Just some misunderstanding with rules. I was not very proper with rules.
Right. But I also remember that you went on to Asian Tour qualifying the same year, I think.
Yes, so I turned pro, and because I turned pro in May, and those days the PGI circuit used to run only till July. They used to have a June and July used to be off. They used to
Right.
run it till June, and then August used to be the start of the year rather than January for us now.
Right.
So there used to be Q School in July. So I only
Okay.
had 4 events left which I could officially participate in,
Right.
and
Right.
there was no chance of me to keep my card unless I won.
Right.
And in the fourth event, I think I went into a playoff with Mukesh Kumar. I mean, I missed out on a victory right there. Otherwise, I didn't have to go to Q School that year. But yes, I got off for my pro career in a really hot way. And I remember 2006 December, I think I'd been pro for a year and a half, is when I went for Asian Tour qualifying. And I was the only guy to make it out of 15 other pros who had gone.
Yeah.
And at 21, I had a full card on the Asian Tour. And, it's tough because if my golfing journey was only 5 years into golf as such, if you look at it, 5 6 years into it, and I was suddenly in a stage where I thought, everything is working out for me, and then I didn't have the what should I say? I mean, I would say that I didn't have the experience to really run with it and go with it, and I got a little injury on my wrist in China when I was playing in China for the first year, and just to deal with the whole injury and the expenses and how it all goes, I think it really got to me, and I wasn't able to play really well on the first year, and then it took a while for me to get back there.
So you kind of got the bed burden down with the scheme of things in on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't know how to manage it really well. I think I'm far more capable of managing things now than I was at 21, because nobody in my family ever was into sports as such. My
Right.
father is from the army, my mother's a teacher.
Right.
And suddenly I'm traveling these different countries. I didn't have a manager. I did not have anybody who was supporting me in any kind of financial way or anything, and everything just suddenly came on to me at 21, and it was just a little too much for me to, I think, grasp onto and try and excel through it. And it bogged me down, and especially the injury. I didn't know how to manage an injury, and I played through the pain, which kind of spoiled another year
Yeah.
after, which I did not understand that time, which I understand very well now. But at 21, I didn't have information which told me that if you're injured, you need to rest. You can't play through it.
Right.
But
No.
as a 21-year-old, in my mind, it was like, oh, I have 1 year of exemption and I need to play every event too. So
No. And
yeah,
even if someone had told you that it would not be the right way to do it, you wouldn't listen at
I'm
that
pretty
time.
sure, yeah, I wouldn't have listened.
I understand that one. It doesn't matter. कोई नहीं मलहम पट्टी करके चलो.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that was how it was. So great. So welcome to golf, and that was your big welcome. The first few years of your pro
Yes,
golf
I mean,
was
yes, it totally was. I mean, looking back, I think that's what every experience of yours on the golf course and off the golf course, when you're part of a sport, I think makes you grow in its own individual way. And I feel so fortunate to be at this time and at this age. I mean, of course, we are stuck with coronavirus and everything, but I feel so humbled by everything which I've learned, and I'm just ready. I feel ready every time I am now back, because all those experiences has taught you a lot.
Right. That's some deep words over there, Amar, and that's pretty good because your understanding of this game, the situation, how to control it, how to live with it, how to conquer injury, overcome it, come back,
Yes,
and
I
that's
mean,
not the first injury. Yeah, I know.
it, yeah, something I realized kind of early on was that the nature of the sport is to make you a depressive. It wants to it wants to make you lose all faith, all hope, everything. That's the nature of the sport, and you would not be wise not to look at it and go that nah, it's not like that. That's the nature of the sport. It wants to
Right.
tell you, no matter how good you're feeling. I remember when I won Sri Lankan amateur, and this is a true story which I think saying for the first time. I Before that, I remember I was playing well. I was playing decent golf, and I
Uh,
wasn't really playing well in India. I mean, I went for Western India amateur or something, and I was really working hard on my game. And I didn't play well. I think I finished seventh or eighth or something like that. And Sri Lankan amateur was an international event, right? And it was a team, an official team, and I went with the team. And I did not hit the ball on the range even one day. I did not go to the range even one day, and I won the event. And coming back, I was thinking, I said, is that got anything to do with my practice, or is it got anything to do with understanding that you're good enough? So
right.
everybody goes through their own little, path and ways of figuring out their own game.
Right.
And that's when I realized that no matter how good you're playing, no matter how good you're playing, how good you feel, the sport will try and bog you down, but you can't get bogged down. You have to continue and persevere through it. You have to push through it. And that's the best part about this game. It's like chess, it's like everything together. I love it.
Yeah, you're right. Because, a friend of mine once told me, Romit, at the highest level of this game, it's like a box on your face, a punch on your face, and you get knocked down. It's
Yeah.
not about how hard you got hit, it's how quick you get up on your feet is
Yeah.
most
True.
important.
Yeah, you have
And
every day you have to get up and tell yourself, you cannot stand on the first tee and be like, I don't know what to do. No, you can't play this sport. If you have that feeling, you cannot play this game. You
right,
have to be going out there and knowing that yesterday was yesterday, and I'm going to do my best today, and today is going to be great. It is going to be great. You have to believe that. If you
yeah,
can't believe that, I mean, there's no way. There's no way.
yeah,
This
you gotta have
game,
that smile on your face and get out there every
yeah,
single day. Yeah.
100%. This game is. I mean, everybody who's played this game knows this game does not go easy on players who are mentally weak. Let's just say that.
What is mental week now? There you go. So something about what we can do to fight this, Amar, because I know you fought a lot and you're
Yeah.
mentally pretty strong now. So tell us, what did you do? Did you do something different? Did you see someone
Uh,
professionally? Did you get some help?
I think
How did you
the
go?
most important thing is number one to understand what the problem in your game is. I think that's the number one thing. I think for years everybody tries to either take it technically or some other way that hey, my putting is not working, my chipping is not working, my iron play is not working. I think the most important thing is to recognize that hey, all of those are good. There might be some other reasons. It could be diet, it could be fitness, it could be whatever. You have to first understand that there are other causes and other reasons which might be making you not excel at what you're doing. The understanding of that is number one, and acceptance of that. I mean, I still know guys who just don't accept that they're not fit enough, or they're not having the right food, or they're not mentally strong enough. And they still want to work on aspects which are not important, because
Uh,
I feel that if you can hit a ball on the range which goes straight, you can do it on the
yeah,
golf course in pressure. The
right,
difference between hitting it on the 18th hole in a major tournament and on the range, the only difference is in your mind. It's not got anything to do with your technique and nothing else, right?
right,
So to,
absolutely, yeah.
so to take it from there to that point has got a lot to do within these 2 years, and it has nothing to do with your muscle memory. It has nothing to do with how you've been swinging it. It's got everything to do with how much you believe and how much faith you have in doing that. Because when you're standing on the range, even if you think that, hey, all of us as kids have done it, this part is to win the Masters or this part is to win the US Open. Everybody's done that, and everybody's made tens and hundreds of them on the putting green. But when that time actually comes, you have to be ready for it. And if you're not ready for it in practice, you'll never be ready for it in tournament. So I think that's something which I really, really work hard on. I mean, I've been working hard on it for a while now, and I mean, it takes its time. It's a process. It's a continuous process. But yes, I think understanding of your problems and understanding what part of the game you need to, as an individual, work on is the most important thing. I mean, I see guys out there trying to emulate golf swings of different people. I see people out there trying to work on things which, major champions are working on. Maybe that doesn't work for them. Maybe that doesn't work for an individual. Maybe
Right.
something else works for you. To figure
Right.
that out is the most important and the crucial aspect of improving, I think.
Right.
So yeah.
So basically, you're saying that we need to keep a log of everything and then kind of understand and analyze a bit where we've
Yes,
gone wrong.
absolutely, absolutely. I think, and I mean, I remember when I was a junior and when I was an amateur, I think information wise, we were at 20% of what we are right now, especially
Right.
with the whole way the golfing world has molded itself, especially in India now. I'm sure, in big golfing nations, all these things were always there. But in India now, the information is so much. People are so hardworking now and people work on the right things. I mean, I think I know so many kids only in the golf course I practice in, and especially in your academy, who's everybody's into nutrition, everybody's into diet, everybody's into working out. I started working out when I got a shoulder injury at 27. I didn't even work out before that. I didn't know that you're supposed to be fit for golf. I
So you
thought,
thought you were fit. You thought you were very,
yeah,
very fit.
I
You
mean,
were
everybody
ripped.
thinks they're fit till the time they're not. you know and till the time I didn't realize that this shoulder injury is because I have been hacking golf balls one after the other out of every surface on different golf courses without really taking care of the shoulder. I mean, that hit me like a truck, and since then, luckily and touch wood, I've really been taking care of my body, and that's something which worked for me. That's something which made me
Right.
clearer and understand and help me towards my goals. But that's what I'm saying, that now every kid, 10 to 15 year olds, I work with Sandy, as I mentioned before. He has kids coming in as young as 9 years old and 11 years old and 12 years old, who they're putting in so much hard work. And you look back and you're like, man, I wish I'd done that when I was 14 or when I was 15. Because everybody's so knowledgeable now. And before it wasn't there, but now, you're absolutely right. People are logging on to things, they definitely keep a track of their progress. And the nature of the sport now is professional. It used to be amateur before, but now the sport is
Right.
professional. It's the
Right.
sport in Olympics now. It's a professional sport,
That's
not
right.
a sport. So now people look at it professionally. People don't look at it like, whatever. I'll leave it after some time and then I'll do like a business or something. When people get into it now, they want to pursue it till Olympic gold,
That's
because
right.
that's professional now.
That's
So
right.
people are definitely taking it serious, and everybody's fully metaphor. I mean, absolutely down to the element.
So that's damn good coming from you now, because you see acceptance of that these things are important
Yeah,
makes it a very important stage, and you have to understand that today a lot of parents out there, a lot of kids out there don't really follow this. They don't think it's important. They think that okay, okay, I'll eat well. What do you mean by eat well? Oh, I'll just do a few push-ups and a few pull-ups.
no, no, no.
It's all specialized, so you
I
can
think the most important thing which one, especially a junior listening right now, needs to understand is that it is not a quick process. You cannot look at it like, I'm going to work out for 5 months and then the next 4 months will be great. It's not like that. It's about eating every day. It's about drinking water every day. It's part of your golf. You have to look at it that way. You can't look at it that, okay, I'm going to get fit and then I will become better. Fitness has to be the norm. You are just going to eat healthy, you're just going to work out, you're going to take care of your body, and then is when I play golf. It becomes part of your golf. It's like when you go to school, you have to take pencil and a rubber. You just can't go to school without writing anything, right? So fitness, diet, mental, all these things are aspects which you take to the golf course with preparation which you do yourself, and which is very important. I mean, if you have to excel, these are the minimum. These are the things you have to do. I mean, I remember once you told me this very good analogy, which I give everybody, that if you are here and somebody who's playing really well is here, he's working hard at this pace, right? You have
right
to not only match his pace, but you have to now go harder than
cover up.
him to actually come to his level and then cover up.
That's
So
right.
that has always stuck with me, and I mean, you have to do that, and that's absolutely true. And if you let one aspect of any part of your game be less than him or the competitor, Mr. X, whoever your foe is in your mind, you will somewhere or the other, lag down. Because I'm 35 now, I'll be 35 in 3 months, and I've never felt as fit and as ready for golf ever in my life. And that's not because I started working out right like 6 months ago. this process started when I was 28 years old. And had I not taken care of my body from 28 to 35, I probably would have not felt this way. I don't know, but I feel great right now, right? And that's because of the hard work I've put
Super.
8 years from now, which I've been putting in over with food and with diet, with mental training and all those things. So I think for a professional golfer, I think the most important thing is to reach a golf course and feel good and feel ready. Not feel bogged down, not feel tired, not feel, this is my 15th week in a row. How am I going to do this week? I can't get food to eat. The travel was so tiring. These are the problems which everybody's going to face when they become professional. It's not going to be I got this ice cream or that ice cream. Your problems are going to be real. You're going to be lugging
Right.
golf bags. You're going to be traveling different time zones. You're going to be staying in different hotels with different beds. You know, all those things will take a toll on you. And I think, you have to prepare for it now. And the earlier, the better.
When I'm listening to you, I'm just actually understanding that this is all part of what you've gone through in your life, and you're just
Yes, I
narrating
have.
everything.
Absolutely.
Everything is coming
Absolutely.
from your
I
heart.
remember, I remember the
Yeah.
first time I went for an international team to Thailand. I think I was a junior.
Right.
I got, I couldn't eat the food. I had a
Right.
problem. I had a problem eating the food and I fell sick. And I fell sick not because I ate something bad, but because I wasn't eating enough. I had weakness on the golf course and I fainted. Right. And because of that, I wasn't able to compete in the final day. And, my team didn't play well. And, out of 4 people, 3 scores used to count. And now
Right.
all 3 scores had to count. So I wasn't able to contribute. And that was not because of anything else, but just because of not having the knowledge and understanding of how important the correct food is. I couldn't eat veggies, and how important veggies are, and chicken and all these fish and all that are in Thailand and all those things. And of
Yeah.
course, I've struggled with food and all, but now with time I've understood. I've taken my lessons in and become better at it.
Yeah, you're right. Because today, if you go into China, you'll say, "Oh, the food smells of fish oil." I mean, that won't
Yeah,
work anymore. Taiwan,
yeah, yeah.
you have to
Just too
eat
bad.
food.
Just too
Yeah.
bad. You're here to play a professional tournament. Just too bad.
So people need to figure out, like when they're going to travel the world, they're going to have food issues. And you kind of touched
Absolutely.
upon something very important because during travel, these are going to be very, very important things that they need to look
Yes,
up to. I mean, look into.
I have so many professional friends, professional golfers who are playing on higher toes, and it's one of our major conversation points, when they talk about things and when they talk about their troubles and all. It's not about playing the golf course. It's not. I mean, of course, those things are there. Those things
Right.
are a little bit part of your game and strategy and all that. But I mean, imagine being a veg in a country like Denmark. I mean, Shubhankar told me this story. He only had potatoes to eat. He said, I had
Wow.
nothing. All I could find was potatoes. I was trying to go into the kitchen and tell them to make me something veg, and all they had was potatoes. So, professional golfers struggle through these things, and these are the things which, I mean, the same theory, right? If somebody's struggling with this here, you need to catch up and then go ahead. As
Right.
simple.
Right. So that's a very important point. That's like you said, Shubhankar is at the highest level of golf, and if he
Yeah.
can't find food, which is going to.
And there are places where you're not able to. I mean, that you. But of course, he's learned, and everybody learns. You
Yeah,
you
of course.
travel with food now, and things are different, and this is the journey where you keep learning every day. You keep learning, and you keep putting on more information into your arsenal, and you just keep getting ready for the day when you'll actually perform amazingly well. You know.
And it's right because when I talk to a lot of junior golfers nowadays, I actually tell them, you must try food. You must
Yeah.
eat different kind of food because you
Yeah,
can't
I
just
mean,
say, "Oh, I'm not going to
even
do
if
this.
you
I'm not going to do that."
even if you can't eat, you still need to prepare for the week. You carry your food from India. I mean, then
Yeah.
don't worry about carrying other things, and you need to carry food. Things need to be in priority.
Right, right. Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Because that is one very, very important part of this whole
Yes.
growing up and
I mean,
getting.
I've been touring. I've been a touring pro now for 15 years. It's
Right.
a long time. It's a long time, right? And I think over the whole period, if I was to talk to a 20-year-old me, I would just tell him the same things which I'm saying right now. That you cannot worry about the playing part that much. That how am I going to play this tournament? That's not what's going to be your problem. Your
Right.
problems are going to be many other administrative and taking care of yourself and taking care of your body. I mean, 30, 32 weeks in a year gets a lot. It does get a lot on anybody, no matter how fit you are. But to go to the 35th week and then win a tournament, that takes something else. That takes preparation, which has taken the whole year for you to reach there. You know,
Right.
and I think that's the most important thing.
You have a lot of followers which are shouting out to you over there. If you can keep reading that screen, and some married men, some unmarried men. What's up? Malik, Spree Singh and Ranjit giving you shout outs.
Yeah, close friends.
Very close friends out there. So I guess, okay, tell me how important is friends? Friends on tour, friends in your
The most
circle.
important. They are the most important. If you gotta remain sane, you can't be one of the guys who's looked at someone being very competitive and said that, okay, these are my competitors. You have to have friends on tour. That's your family. You're going to be traveling the most. I mean, I can only talk as a professional golfer. I can't talk as a weekend golfer. You know, as a professional golfer, touring and traveling, I spend most of my time with these guys. You know, most of my time is spent on the course with these guys, and
Right.
you have to have few friends. You know, you of course you're competitive. You know, you go on the golf course and you want to beat the other guy, but you know, few of my closest friends are on the pro tour with me. You know, I think I'm more close, and I have thicker friendships with people who are related to golf in my life than my, you know, my private side of my life. You know, and you have to have that, and you need that for, I think, just closure, because you come back after playing 18 holes and you're just so frustrated that you need somebody to listen to you who understands what the frustration is. I
Yeah.
mean, can you imagine talking to your cousin brother that, oh man, I missed a 3 foot of a birdie? He's like, what does that even mean? You know, what does that even mean? Or your
Yeah,
school
Dad.
friend.
Yeah, I shot 67 and I could have done so much
Yeah,
better. I mean, who would
yeah,
understand but a golfer?
exactly. What a professional golfer.
That's right.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
can do,
best example being last year when I shot 8 under for the first round in Hyderabad. I think last year I shot. I think I had 11 or 12 birdies the first day, and the next day I think I only had one birdie or two birdies, and nobody else. Like I remember getting messages from people like, "How can you like shoot 12 birdies in one day and only two the other day?" Like, I
those
mean,
are non-golfers. Those guys don't understand.
no, no, some amateur golfers. Let's just put it to that.
They
A
don't know.
lot
They
of
don't
amateur
know
golfers.
yet. They'll learn.
Yeah.
They'll learn slowly.
Well, yesterday you made 12 birdies, today only two. How? I don't know.
As if there's some kind of formula.
Yeah, so you know, you need your friends close by who understand what goes on, and how that is very very possible.
So one of the tournaments I remember, if you can narrate that, you had a massive lead going into the final round, and I think that tournament you I think scored the worst of the week and won that tournament. Was that your first tournament victory?
Yeah, that was in Noida Golf Course. That was my first event, my first pro victory, and I was playing really well actually. I was playing one of the hottest golf I've played in my life. I was leading by 5 shots going into the final day on a very very tough Noida Golf Course track, hard greens, rough was up, and I was playing really well. And I remember standing on the first tee. I was thinking that, you know, I'm 5 shots ahead, and no matter what I do, it's be very tough to lose today. You know, like that's kind of what you feel, right?
Right,
You're
right.
standing there and you're trying to pump yourself up. You know, you're trying to get ready. And first hole I made a par, and I remember second hole the flag was tucked into the right side, and I was sent a fairway. I laid up with a 4 iron, and it was an easy wedge to the flag. And I remember my caddy telling me that, you know, center green looks good. The wind is a little from the left, you know, and I was like, what if I cut it from the left and I, you know, hit it to the flag? You know, and because, you know, somehow, you know, you're playing so well, you see shots which otherwise you won't. Like I can totally imagine myself being on the number, on the cut line, and playing that shot. There is no chance I would have looked at the flag. You know, but I'm 5 shots ahead and I'm thinking I'm king, you know, so I could hit all these low cuts and do whatever I want. Sure enough, it was in the bunker, and then from there, I just, you know, it all spiraled down, and I shot 4 over and won in a playoff, luckily. But yeah, that did happen. That was
So
a
so
very,
so there's learning from that as well. So
absolutely, there's learning from that. I mean, the most important thing I learned from that is that when the next time I won, I again shot 4 over, but this time, won by one shot. I didn't go into playoff. No, I think what I learned from that is that after 3 days, I should be so far ahead that I can do whatever I can do whatever I want on the fourth day and still win.
No, that's so, but you have to understand that you're right, because sometimes you feel invincible, and
Yeah,
that invincibility sometimes makes you choose a shot which might not be the right shot. So you need to
true.
also start staying on the ground
Mr. Boss,
sometimes.
that's the thing, no matter how much information, how much knowledge you gain from talking to people, from looking at experiences, by looking at things, I think till the time an individual is in that position and he doesn't go through that situation and that understanding himself, I
Right.
think understanding what it actually is very tough. I mean, for me to be there and then when I hid in the bunker, that feeling which I got of being so stupid, you know, that I will remember for the rest of my life. Because
Right.
now I know exactly why that round of 4 over spiraled, and that is information and that is understanding, right? And again, if I'm in a situation like that, I can always fall back to that memory and take it that okay, this happened, so you would rather want to play it safe. And these are all I think individual lessons which everybody learns themselves. If I tell
Right.
a kid or somebody else who's leading by 4 shots that don't go for a flag if it's tucked into the right with the bottom right bunker. I mean, if he's standing good and if he's feeling really good there, he's going to go for that shot. Everybody knows that, you know.
Absolutely.
But till the time he doesn't understand it himself, he's not going to do it. I don't think Molinari is ever going to feel comfortable hitting the tee shot on 12th ever again on the Masters.
No.
He's definitely going to hit on the fat side of the green on the left side. I think
Right.
those are things which every player at every level learns every day. And as a very good friend of mine said, Ajitesh, he believes this very strongly that every golf shot you hit, no matter where you hit it, on the range, on the course, is new. It's different. Every golf shot is different, and you can't practice for it because the lie is different, the wind is different, the distance is different. It's going to come off the club different. It's going to have a different ball flight. So if you're practicing every day on the range, coming to a conclusion that on the golf course it's going to be different, then how can you actually stand practice monotonously, right? How can you just keep
Right.
a ball on the same line, hit it off the same turf at the same time every time? It makes no sense. So, I think all professional golfers in their own way try to work their game around.
Right. So mostly a lot of random practice, not just block unless you're really
Yeah, of
working on
course. I
something.
mean, I don't even remember the last time I went to the range and, just hit one club at the same distance for more than 3 balls. I don't think I've ever done that. You low draws, high cuts, hook it as much as you can, cut it as much as you can. Just fun. I mean, practice range has to be fun. And a lot of golfers do that. I mean, I understand short game and all, you can't do that, when you have a 5 foot putt. But on the range, when you're trying to hit your 5 irons and 6 irons, it's not about trying to find that one perfect shot you hit there. It's not about that. Because I see a lot of people doing that. They go on the range and they're hitting 5 irons till the time they feel that, this one was good.
Right.
Every shot is different. You have to keep playing around. When you try to hit a draw, it won't draw. Like it won't draw in a tournament. Like it the same way it won't draw in the range also sometimes. But you have to keep trying these different things. Otherwise, if you're on the golf course leading a tournament and if you have to hit a draw, you can't wait for that perfect draw. You have to go and just go there, right? You got to go and just hit it. So I
Right.
think, yeah, I totally believe in that. I've never gone on the range and hit balls at the same distance with the same club for more than 3 balls. I think.
I mean, Amar, you're super talented. You're gifted. You're hardworking. You've been through the trials and tribulations of life as a golfer. As a normal person as well. But the thing is, you have the experience. But tell me something. What do you say to those guys out there? There are lots of them out there who turn pro or just want to turn pro. But what should they be looking for? What should they have that they should believe that they're going to be a successul professional or a professional to start with? I mean, a lot of guys out
I
today
think the
wanting to
most
turn pro.
important, I think the most important thing is patience, because a lot of the people who are coming in hot off the blocks and off the ranks who feel the game is good and they turn professional, they look at it as an easy thing. They somehow, and I understand that, because when you're playing good golf, you think it's easy. The game is very easy when it's easy. But when the game turns bad and things start not go your way, it's very easy to lose patience, and people quit. They start trying different things, they want to change everything about their game and aspect. I think that is the wrong part. You have to stick with what got you there. I've seen a lot of professional golfers, guys who are really good and they got to being good professional golfers, but changed so much in their own way and in their own understanding of the things that it completely backfired for them, right? So I think patience is the most important thing. I mean, over time, you need to look at it as a 20-year career, as a 25-year career. Gurbaz, another very good friend of mine, we always talk about this and we say that a professional golfer makes 95% of his money in 5% of the events. And that's a true fact,
True.
right?
True.
Because you're going to play 100 events, but most money you'll make in only 5 events or 6 events. The rest 90 are going to be preparing you for those 5 events. And
Right.
that is what you have to look at it. You can't go and miss 7 cuts and be like, I'm so bad. Or go and win 5 events and be like, I'm the best. It's a patient game. You got to be neutral and you got to look at it as a 20-year, 20, 25-year career and how you're going to last it and how you're going to last through it. I mean, if somebody wants to take it seriously.
One of the prime examples of that was Justin Rose, if you remember. He was British. He was a top-notch amateur. Then he won the British Open best amateur as well, and then he turned pro. Missed, I think, 17 cuts in a
Yeah,
row.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
he was very patient going through all those 17
yeah.
cuts, and he went on to be world number one.
No,
Yeah.
you have to stick through it. I mean, my age, and I remember the guys who were very serious about professional golf of my age. Most of them are not playing professional golf anymore, and they were super talented. They were super talented people. I mean, there were guys who I used to look up to like, man, one day I wish I can hit ball like that. But you have to be patient in this sport, and I see a lot of people lose their patience.
Right. And what do you say to this guy who's on the cusp of turning pro, who hasn't
Okay.
turned pro, but he's trying to make a decision that should I turn pro? I think I should turn pro, but what should he look for in his game?
The number
What are
one
the
question he
qualities?
needs to ask himself is this for money? If it is for money, he shouldn't turn pro. If it is for that, oh, I'm gonna make so much money that he shouldn't turn pro.
I'm gonna buy this car and I'm gonna get this
Yes.
house and
If
that's
that
not
is his number one reason. If his number one reason is to look at it in a very bigger way, in a bigger picture way, and know that he's gonna become a different human being what he is right now. He's gonna understand things. This game is gonna teach him things which he never thought he's gonna learn. And if it's about growth in itself, welcome to the tour. But you can't have that attitude. You cannot have an attitude of trying to get something from this game because it's very easy for this game to bog you down. It's very easy for it. It's like nothing. It's part of the game. And all the people who have understood that and moved past it are the ones who are doing well right now. Prime example being Tiger Woods. The game, everything he is because of this game, and this game brought him down to, you know, people who had no idea about his life bashing him. From there to winning the Masters again. You know,
yeah.
that's only because someone who understands what this game is,
Yeah,
and
it
you
brought
have
him
to
down to
be
a stage where he couldn't even get up of bed also.
exactly. I
I
mean,
mean,
from getting arrested and having
yeah.
DUIs on and getting publicly shamed. I mean, I keep telling all my friends. I said, we as golfers don't even know what it is like being a celebrity. In India, I mean, of course, Indian golfers and a small amount of people know us. But can you imagine us being like Virat Kohli's and the amount of pressure they have to face every day
Wow.
from
Wow.
from random
Super.
people who are just telling them that you can't play golf, you're stupid. Can you imagine being on a golf course, standing on a tee, and have people heckling you? We don't know, right? So you have to be ready for all those things. And if that is what you're capable of and ready of to take all that bullshit and to take all that negativity and still persevere through, then you can definitely try your hand at this game. But if it's only about money and then trying to get Ferraris and yachts, you'll be disappointed.
Not always, for a little while, but then at the end of the day, you will be there.
Of course, but that can't be your only aim.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
That can't be your only aim.
But great, Amar, that was a lot of interesting stuff. So now a little few questions which have come up, and
Okay.
most of them are not questions. They're just telling you how talented you are and how good you speak. But one of them came up is your thoughts on COVID-19 and the future of Indian pro golf from Rishabh
Ooh.
Basin.
I am, what should I say? Like, I'm a different kind of individual. I mean, when I heard of this outbreak, I was in Hyderabad, I remember, and a very close, Gurbaz, my very close friend, he was actually deciding to go to Q school in Thailand. And I literally, the best I could do, I told him not to go because I am one of those guys who takes these things very, very seriously. Because these are things we don't understand. We are sports people, we are not scientists. We are not, all these, intelligent people. We are sportsmen. And if something which has got the world panicking, we should be smart about it, right? We cannot be thinking selfish right now and thinking about just golf and all that. It's a thing which I think everybody, all individuals, and all of us together have to look at it because it's definitely a world altering and a world changing event. And golf is not on my mind right now, frankly speaking. I'm not even thinking about when I can return to golf as an individual. I think it's more about just hoping that when and if we do come out of this, everybody I know is healthy and safe.
Right.
So
Well said,
yeah.
Amar. I mean, that's a very good way of looking at it. Next question coming up to you is, can you tell us all how to hit the ones that drop right? It's
Um,
from another top pro golfer on the WGAI.
the one that falls right.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you that.
I think she's just pulling your leg here.
I don't think I can explain it right now
It's it's Ridhima.
on I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay, so Siddharth called from Bombay. He's a junior golfer. So how do you handle the pressure that comes to you on the course?
I can only talk about myself, and individually, I look at it as, I'm a very visual kind of person. Like I like to look at things very visually, and if I feel something, I like to morph it into something visual and then go at it. Growing up, I was very fictitious. I was very story making, storytelling kind of person. I used to love doing that. I was a very good artist. So whenever I personally, and I've never said this ever, when I personally get into pressure situation, I look at it as an entity, or look at it as an enemy, or look at it as something which is out there physically, and then my aim is just to beat it. So it's like a
Right,
personal fight I have with that thing which is called pressure. So whenever I
right.
feel a little nervous, I don't keep it inside me. I take it out and I put it right next to the tee, and I'm like, okay, you stand there, and I'm gonna hit my ball here. I differentiate between the two things. So that's
Okay,
something
that
which I do, which is something which I do personally that works for me. And but yeah, pressure on the course. I mean, every individual handles its own way. If you talk to 10 professional golfers, they'll tell you 10 ways because everybody likes to do it their own way, and that's my own specific way.
super. That's your take on it, and I think that's another way of looking at things. And why not? There's
Yeah,
not one way to solve everything. So
yeah.
another question coming up from Brandon D'Souza. That how did you like Boulder Hills,
Oh, I loved
MIT?
it. I absolutely loved it. It was, I remember I was in Hyderabad and I went to play the golf course, and I'm surprised we've not had a professional golf tournament there because that golf
I'm
course is
surprised.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that we've not had a men's pro tour event. I think the girls have played there, but a men's pro event, I don't know if we have ever had one there, and it's very, very good, super tough, and I beat Gurbaz that day, so I'm happy about that.
Okay, next one coming up, something to do with the mind. A couple of questions, maybe two, three questions. I'm just going to read them out, and then we'll kind of summarize them all into one question. So the first one is how important meditation for a golfer, or for you, for that matter of fact. Then what do you do to work on your game mentally? Surely must be meditating or anything else. That's another question. The next one is the best shot you've pulled off under pressure. And okay, those three which we'll go with right now on the
Uh,
mental
so I'm
side.
going to start with the whole meditation part. You have to look at meditation as something which is different from golf. I mean, if you start looking at it as something which is for golf, then it'll never work for you. You can't look at it that, oh, I'm going to meditate and my golf's going to get better. Those things don't make sense to each other. Meditation is for yourself, and I think if you grow and understand and become calmer yourself, and I do meditate a lot, I do a lot of spirituality and all just for myself, which in its own way reflects on the golf course, and individually it is different. So I won't say that, oh, to handle pressure the only way for you is to meditate, because that's not true. And I would also not say that, oh, if you do meditate you will not become the best golfer. That is also not true. I think meditation is completely different from golf, and I've always looked at it that way. And I do meditate. I do spend a lot of time with my eyes closed, but that is not for golf. And yes, meditation is very important for one's own self being, and positivity inside oneself.
Right.
Then the second question is my best shot or something. Is that what it is?
Yeah, which was your one sec? I'll just come back to it. Neha's asking you the best shot you pulled off under pressure.
The one I can remember right off the bat is recently in last year in Chandigarh. I was playing a tournament and I had hit my driver just over and left of the 17th green. It's a drivable par 4 going on the right. And I was behind the bunker and I was in the trees with a sandy lie, and I had no shot. I had no golf shot. I had to chip it out right. But because I really needed a birdie and I was really on the cusp of making cut, and only 2 holes were left, I literally saw a small window which was nothing more than a foot by foot, and I have to hit this shot, which is like a flop from a barren sandy lie through that gap onto a flag which is only 6 yards in. So I went for it, and I actually, I think I hold it, and that was a pressure shot which came out very good. I don't know how, but it did.
Fantastic. They always do. They always do. Uh, Next one, which we come around, is after winning your first professional event, what changed for you, if
Uh,
anything did?
I I think what changed for me was a little bit of understanding within myself that once you win, when you go to the next tournament and you tee it up, it's all back to zero. It's all square. You won
Yeah.
last week. That finishes on Sunday. Tuesday practice round is back to normal. Because I had always thought that when you win, it's that's just how you feel for the rest of your life. But that's not true. I think that's the number one thing which I understood from winning, and of course, a lot of confidence. You feel you're invincible. You feel you can pull off any golf shot you want. But all those things very soon come down to a very level plane where you understand that it's a day in and day out process. You win one, you lose one. You gotta keep moving on.
Super. Next advice someone's asking you is for themselves. They're parents of a 16-year-old player who wants to turn professional and pursue his passion for golf. But this is the parent asking you, what advice would you have for the parents?
Oh, if I don't understand the question, like advice for the parents as to how to nurture him, or
Yeah, that's right. For a kid who wants to turn pro, who's 16 years old, so what advice would you have for the parents how to go about it?
I'm sure they're doing a great job. If he wants to turn professional and if he's still playing the sport, you're not one of those parents who wants to become an engineer or a doctor or something like that. I'm sure you're doing really, really well, and you have a great relationship with your kid. He's going to turn professional golfer. I think you just continue to be what you're doing, and I mean, I'm sure you already understand that failure is part of success. And till the time you can continue to understand that, and then failure doesn't affect him, and you don't let it affect him and yourself. It's going to be all good.
Super, super, well done. Okay, so he's showing you a thumbs up, so that's good. Okay, next one is again a mental question. Lots of them asking you for a lot of mental advice. Do you play more of feel or technique when you're under pressure?
Feel. I trust me. If I was to say one thought I've had technically off the bat when I'm under pressure, nothing. It's all feel. I don't even remember where I stand, what my shoulders are like, what my club is looking like. None of that matters to me, and that is something which I really struggled with because I remember when I was a young professional, it took me a while to understand that range and course are two different things. My friends can vouch for me and they know me. I've played golf every way. I've had a pause on my golf swing and still went and played the shot. I've had a really short swing. I've had a really long swing, and I've been able to do that because I don't think of those things. I feel a feeling. I feel a feeling of if I have to turn, then I feel that okay, I'm turning, and then I go ahead. I don't care how it looks, and that's individually for me. So I'm a total field player. I can't play technically. I just cannot.
Super, super. Do you really, do you mentally visualize an entire round of golf before you play on a regular basis?
I visualize
Like,
an entire round of golf every day, once in the morning and twice before I sleep. It's not about every. It's not about every tournament. I do it every day without fail. I play different golf courses I've played, tournaments I've played. I replay tournaments. I've beaten Tiger so many times in the Masters. You guys have no idea in my mind.
fantastic, and why not? Eh? Why not?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good job. Thanks, Samar. That was very, very good, and that was very interesting. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
your time.
No
One
problem.
last question before you leave. Before that, I want to make an appeal. We've got about a couple of minutes. We want to make an appeal that please reach out to everybody who works behind the scenes at this time, at this crucial juncture.
Sure.
And all the guys in the golf club, which you can help out, please do so in your own way. There are
Yes.
lots of guys who are collecting a lot of money and giving it out, but there's a lot of other ways that you can also help them.
Yeah.
Just make sure that they feel comfortable through these times because it's going to drag on for a bit.
It will.
And so lots of suddenly questions coming in, Malik, while I'm saying this. So I'm just going to take one last question. Maybe we've just got 2 minutes left. There you go. What are you actually gonna? Or should we just extend this for a few more minutes? Is that okay with you,
Whatever.
Amar? Yeah. So
I have nothing but time.
Oh, really? So what we'll do, guys, I'm going to end this session just now. I'm going to press end. Join us again on the other side. Just go live. I mean, I'm going to go live again and you guys can join in again. So Amar, I'm just going to catch you on the other side.
Okay.